birds and giraffes and things. Who knows what the original collective noun for giraffe are? There's two that are quite commonly used. I'm just going to scoot around to the next road where I think they're going to come out. But who can remember what the collective noun, the original colonial collective noun for a group of giraffe is? You can send your answers to questions@wildearth.tv, or you can use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. So let me just hold on for a sec. We're just going to zoom around. Oh, bumpy, bumpy. Oh, one's beating us across the road up ahead. Hold on! Charging after giraffe. They're a bit faster than us. Unfortunately, they're in a little bit more open bush here, and all females. I haven't seen any males with them. There we go. Feeding, the one on the left feeding off a little Acacia exuvialis, a flaky bark. Morning, Kevin. Welcome on the Sunrise Safari, Kevin. Kevin's asking if the one giraffe looks very pregnant. I'm not sure which one, Kevin. I didn't see one that stood out for me. If anything, I think this one we're looking at possibly at the moment could be. She does have quite a distended belly. Really great observation, Kevin. Yeah, it does look like she is pregnant, this one standing closest to us. Yes, you. See that incredibly long tongue occasionally flick out of her mouth there. And that they use to wrap around branches and pull through. And it is very tough, like an old leather boot. And thorns and spines of different trees make no difference to it. There we go. And you can see that tongue working, wrapping around, and then stripping the leaves. Yum, yum, yum. Bush willow for breakfast. So it's quite nice to see such a big group of giraffe. We don't often get big groups here because of the type of woodland we're in. And maybe as the dry season comes and they are forced to move more while looking for food, we'll start seeing a few more giraffe. And the reason this is we don't have that much pure acacia woodland. We do have quite a lot of acacias, but no sort of acacia woodland, which is a giraffe's preferred habitat. Behind us, we are being surrounded. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 giraffe from this current position. I'm just going to move the vehicle a little bit. Unfortunately, we are on one of the big access roads, so there is a bit of traffic coming. But there's a hiding behind that knobthorn. Really fascinating animals. And here we go, gonna cross the road. Nice bit of morning traffic for whoever's driving there. disappearing across our boundary at the moment, but we will stay with them as long as possible. There's one actually right behind us as well. I'm just going to move the vehicle again so we can see. They are unfortunately right on the edge of our traverse area. Just going to get on the right side of the light so we don't get just a giraffe silhouette. How's that, Brian?
Yeah, it's good.
Suzanne, Siberia, Lisa, Dara, Maggie, and Robin. A lot of you guys got it right. And it is quite a different, interesting one because there are two. And there's either a journey of giraffe or a tower of giraffe. And both are correct. But just nice, interesting little bit of English there. A journey of giraffe. It just sounds so wonderful. When you say a journey of giraffe, you can almost imagine a group of 10 or 15 giraffe traipsing over a wide open plain with those sort of very typical umbrella thorn acacias in the background. And the tower, obviously, because they're as tall as a tower. There's also quite a lot of debate about a giraffe's neck. Obviously, this is an evolutionary adaptation for two different reasons. One, obviously, to be able to feed higher than the other browsers. So when times are tough, a giraffe has access. Oh, and all the oxpeckers can hear them flying in, coming to land on the giraffe. And it's landed on the tree next to them and making a bit of a noise. And there's some have just landed on the back, you can see there. You could actually hear the oxpeckers coming in that. But back to the giraffe's neck. Another interesting thing is that, let me give you an example. We have 7 vertebrae in our neck. Obviously, we have a lot more in our whole body, but we have 7 vertebrae in our neck. And, oh, it's got a full mouth, this giraffe. Lots of leaves in there. And I wonder who knows how many vertebrae are in a giraffe's neck. So who can tell me how many vertebrae are in a giraffe's neck? You can send your answers to questions@wildearth.tv or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Such wonderfully graceful animals. Very unique walking style when the 2 legs on the right and the left will move simultaneously. Very unique gait. And the word giraffe actually comes from an Arabic word, zarafa, which means the one who walks swiftly. So a really, really apt name. They're such beautiful animals. And when they do decide to walk, they can cover big distance. I mean, you saw how quickly those giraffes managed to get onto the road from where we were, and really quick time. So there we go, feeding on an acacia, an agrescens, a knobthorn, and those sharp little hook thorns absolutely making no difference to this giraffe. I'm just going to move forward. Oh no, there we go, that's fine. Maybe a little bit forward so we can just get this pesky branch out of your way. So now moving from the knobthorn to The exuvialis doesn't like the exuvialis. You see, it took one little taste of that second acacia and moved. And that is quite an interesting thing. Now let's see if she stops at another exuvialis. And I'm just going to have to move again, which is about to go across the boundary. Going to join the rest of them who I cannot see anymore. So quite an interesting thing happens with acacia species and of the same type in an area. Of course she stops behind the tree. Is that they are able to send signals to each other. Oopsie. So when up on top. There we go. So they're able, the tree species are able to send chemical signals to each other. So when they're being heavily browsed in an area, and acacias are very good at this, they will release tannins. And there's a chemical reaction that basically lets all the other acacias in the area know that there's being heavily browsed. So they release tannins and it makes the leaves very, very bitter. So that's possibly what happened. As she started feeding on that exuvialis, all of a sudden she took one little taste of it and was like, nope, must move on. And that's probably from all the exuvialises in the area. They've been fed on quite heavily by the giraffe this morning, and they've released tannins now that are making the leaves very bitter. And this is one of the ways the acacia trees protect themselves from being heavily browsed. So the browsers will only stay feeding on those trees for a certain amount of time before that message gets out to all the other trees in the area, and that'll force the animals to move further away and probably out of the distance where that chemical message is not being sent. Well done to Dave, Teresa, and Katrina, who got the vertebra question correct. They have 7 vertebrae, just the same as us and most mammals. The sea mammals don't really. I have sometimes a differing number, manatees and dolphins and whales, but 7 is the correct. They're just much bigger than ours. Hi, Elizabeth in Minnesota. Elizabeth would like to know whether I've ever seen a giraffe behave aggressively towards a human. Elizabeth, I have never seen a giraffe behave aggressively towards a human. I have, however, seen them behave aggressively towards other predators like lions and leopards. And a kick from a giraffe is quite a fierce thing that can definitely kill a lion with one blow. And back to the human thing, I have personally I have heard of giraffes being aggressive towards humans, but that's after they have been harassed by people. And it's generally in a captive environment and not in the wild. Having a good munch on that knobthorn. Crystal from California. Crystal would like to know if giraffe, she's read that giraffe can grow a third ossicone. Guys, I'm not 100% sure what an ossicone is, so you might have to help me. So if you'd let me know what an ossicone is, I'd be much appreciative, and then maybe I can give a bit more in-depth answer. I think, Crystal, you're a bit smarter than I am. And then also Samantha has noted, well done, Samantha, that one of the mammalian traits is the fact that all mammals have 7 vertebrae. I think that is very true, well done. But I do think some of the marine mammals do not have that sort of 7. Thank you very much, Brian. Brian says a horn is an ossicone. Thank you, Brian. See, Brian's also smarter than me. So, Crystal, thank you again for going into such depth and pushing us to our boundaries as that giraffe disappears into the mixed woodland. She says that she's heard they can even grow a whole new set of horns, and a giraffe horn, or ossicone, I see I learned a new word today, is very different from sort of an antelope's or a deer's. Those are basically bone covered by keratin, where a giraffe's is bone with skin. I'm quite sure it is possible for them to grow a third horn. Maybe not as developed. I've never heard of them growing a completely new set, though. Sorry, I'm going to have to change from my warm hat to my sun hat so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So it is very possible, and I think a lot of those sort of aberrations and variations happen. It could have been an injury while they were young that would cause something like that to happen, or just sort of a jumpy gene that will cause them to grow excessive ossicones, like elephants that grow 3 or 4 tusks, so 2 tusks out of the same area. So very interesting. I'm pretty sure it is possible. I've never seen it, but thanks really much. Thanks a lot, Crystal. We really appreciate it when you guys go the extra level. So we're going to continue on and see what else we can find.